Scotland's dairy farms are increasingly looking beyond traditional production to build resilience, add value, and create new income streams. On this week's FAS TV, we visit two innovative farms showing how diversification can unlock new opportunities for the dairy sector. At Balnab Farm in southwest Scotland, diversification has taken many forms. From on-farm tourism to the development of premium flavoured butters created in collaboration with local partners and support from digital dairy chain. Meanwhile, at Nether Lethame Farm in Lanarkshire, innovation is driving a modern dairy business forward. Alongside producing butter and ice cream, the farm has explored new ways to turn dairy byproducts into added value food products. And their innovation continues with an exciting project underway to deliver ice cream from the farm using drones. A fresh example of how technology, diversification and creativity can help shape the future of Scottish farming.
Hi, we are Gavin and Chloe Vance. We farm at Balnab here down in the Mackers Peninsula in southwest Scotland. I am the farmer, Chloe's the farmer's wife. We work in partnership together to run the farm. So we're a small farm of 100 acres. It's all down to grass. We run 60 Holstein Friesian dairy cows and are heavily diversified. Today we're here to cover our farm diversification enterprises, so our butter making, our holiday accommodation, our farm workshops and our home reared meat, pork and lamb.
So the diversification measures we've introduced here at Balnab Farm are our shepherd's hut and farm cottage farm stay accommodation. We also run farm tours for our guests, offering on-farm experiences, creative farm workshops, linking with local businesses to run workshops from our barn, a farm spa. People can come and use the hot tub, use a sauna tent and cold plunge pools and enjoy a wood-fired pizza, and also our reared pork meat boxes.
The reason we decided to diversify on this farm is because we are a small farm and the economies of scale that some farms enjoy were not available to us. So it's very important for us to diversify and get the most out of the area that we live in and the most out of the produce that we produce. So selling it direct to the public, selling it to hotels and restaurants, and inviting people onto the farm who can, increase our income sources. The main challenge we face with a traditional dairy model is the scale. Obviously, being a small farm, we can only run 60 cows, and it's quite difficult these days to scale up or increase production to make it pay better. So the diversification was really essential for this farm to bring in more income and give us a sustainable future on the farm. We live in a beautiful area and people would like to come and visit. So that's why we installed the shepherd's huts and the farm cottage, and doing the workshops now as well is helping to bring in additional income. As an addition to having guests on farm, we decided that we would try and add value to the produce we were producing on the farm. So we have rare breed pork. We run 3 Oxford Sandy and black sows, rear them outdoors to produce really good quality meat, which we then have butchered and sell direct to the public and also to some high-end restaurants and hotels. The ethos really was to invite guests onto the farm to show them how the farm's run on a daily basis, something they might not normally see, how a small dairy farm's run, and get to view the milking and see the calves, feed the calves, see the lambing, interact with the animals. The main challenges we face really are our location, which is also a beneficial thing. Because we live in this area, it's very picturesque and people like to visit it, but it is a challenge getting people to come because it is a long way off the beaten track.
We love to collaborate at Balnab Farm. I think the reality of that being in business, we know how difficult it is and the barriers that there are. So if we can collaboratively link with other local creative businesses to help to support them here at Balnab, then that's great. We've recently collaborated with a local business in the village to run the farm spas, which have been hugely successful and sold out. So that's really exciting. We have some more dates in the diaries to launch for later this year, and one to keep a wee eye on. Bringing businesses further in to us from Kirkcudbright to offer skills to support their business as well, running them here and offer things in the local area has worked really well as well. The Crafty Barn crew, Creative Kids Art Workshops have been really successful, where we've wet felted and just made opportunities available.
Originally, we decided we would start to pasteurise some of our own milk and sell it direct to the public. Unfortunately, that didn't work out, as we just didn't get enough footfall to justify the enterprise. We then decided that we would look into butter making as a sort of knock-on from the milk pasteurising. We were able to get an innovation voucher from Digital Dairy Chain and work with Digital Dairy Chain and SRUC Food and Enterprise, which has been hugely beneficial and very enjoyable for us as a family. So the butter we manufacture is, we do a salted butter, lightly salted butter. We've just started to develop our flavoured butters. This is something we developed with Digital Dairy and SRUC Food and Enterprise. We had a lot of help from them on the product development side with a development chef, Morag Hamilton, and she helped us to develop a range of flavoured butters which we're now starting to put into production.
Our plans with Balnab Butter, we've recently repackaged and rebranded it. It's all been a huge learning curve for us. So we're now packaging in greaseproof paper with branded wraparound labels, which look really well. We are selling those in our meat boxes, the butter. We also supply some high-end restaurants with the butter as well.
We feel that the butter production on the farm will be fundamental to sustainability for us here and allow us to carry on farming. We see it as a growing market, certainly in flavoured butters. There's lots of interesting flavours out there, combinations, different things we can try. Some might work, some might not. So we're really excited to see where that takes us in the future. So initially with the butter, we thought we would try it out before we started producing our own and buying expensive equipment. So we were able to visit Appleby Creamery down in Cumbria, where we were helped by the team down there to start making our own butter. We took our own pasteurised milk down and we used their equipment to start producing some butter. So that was the initial, and they in fact let us borrow their butter churn initially back on the farm here to try and produce our own butter on the farm, which we did. Digital Dairy Chain obviously have been hugely influential and helpful, along with SRUC Food and Enterprise. They helped us with, as I said, the product development, the marketing side of it, design, lots of different elements, and we found it really helpful and great fun actually. I think if you're going to be looking into any sort of diversification project these days on farm, you really have to do a lot of market research first, because it's so important to know before you invest what your market is and where it's likely to go. A lot of elements of farm diversification have now reached saturation point. So I think people are looking for experiences, definitely food experiences, wellness experiences. So it really is important that people go and see other diversifications and get an idea of what might work on their farm. We think we've got quite a unique product here on the farm, just with our location and our situation. We think that it really is beneficial to people visiting the farm for the wellness point of view and the space that we offer. We just need to find a way to push that a bit further out and draw more people in and enjoy what we enjoy every day.
We have had challenges with our diversifications. Some have worked, a lot haven't, but it's not been a failure in any way. It's been a massive stepping stone and learning journey, and it's keeping us evolving. Our aspirations for the farm are to have a sustainable future in farming for our family, for the younger generation who are keen and interested and want to pursue and further their future in farming, way of life that they know and they love.
I am Mary Fleming. I am in partnership with my husband here at Nether Lethame Farm. We bought Nether Lethame Farm in 2018 and set up our partnership then. Nether Lethame's about 135 acres just on the outskirts of the market town Straven. We bought the farm back in 2018, weren't quite sure as an investment and as a retirement plan. We then decided quickly, following COVID, that actually the farm had great potential. It was a dairy farm that had become quite redundant, and we took the opportunity to modernise that dairy unit, put on Jersey cows, and then from there the ball started to roll. So for Alec and I, traditional dairy farming was probably in our eyes needing modernised, and probably through our previous experience had used technology quite a lot in roles before. So we really saw the opportunity to take that traditional element of the dairy farm but use technology to help us take it to a new level. So the dairy operation here at Nether Lethame is really the foundation of the business. Alec in particular had a strong desire to have Jersey cows for the element of the creamy milk and just to have something a little bit different. He then had a desire to automate as much as possible, so we bought a second-hand Lely astronaut robot to milk the cows. We have the Lely feed pusher, we have a Lely scraper, really with a view to Alec being able to run the dairy side on his own without having to employ staff, to allow him to have the opportunity to enjoy working with the cows as opposed to being shattered with the physical side of the business, if you like. So it's worked very well to find that blend. So looking to diversify the business, I think we split it into two sort of halves. Alec very much focusing on the what cows, how we plan the buildings, how we set that all up. We did have to knock the sort of inside out of all the sheds and make them purposeful for what we were wanting. And my side was more focusing in on the sort of what products were end customer and how could we build the sort of retail side. So we chose a mix of products really to sort of try and build, if you like, the housewife's basket. So if somebody was going to come, they might as well get a couple of products, you know, milk being a sort of short shelf life, supported like encouraging frequency of visit. Eggs probably gave you a little bit longer shelf life, so you kind of were catching both. And then ice cream became that feel-good factor product and that sort of capturing a wider market. So multiple income streams are incredibly important for us. You know, you've not got a guaranteed price for your milk, so you don't know what you're going to get for your product, but you do know for sure that your contracting costs and all your fuel and etc. are going to just cost you more. So there's a piece about trying to build in income lines that give you protection, if you like, from the climate, protection from the market. And actually for us, the key thing was actually trying to cut out the middleman and get the full opportunity there, which is probably being a small enterprise, then you feel the bumps in the roads even harder. So that was crucial for us. So the vending room concept I do have to give to Alec. So he thoroughly reviews stuff and looks into stuff. He's probably quite curious in that side in technology, and he had a real desire to have a vending machine for his milk. That probably then lit my fire in terms of there's no labour costs, and having come from a big sort of employment background, and you know the challenges you have with labour supply, and also for us the opening hours. We wanted to have a huge window of opening hours, and to man that and staff that wouldn't be sustainable. So in the vending room, we have our eggs in a vending machine, and then we have our milk in a vending machine. The milk vending machine we have does milkshakes as well, which becomes quite an important product, especially when we have so many young families. We have the bottles in one vending machine, and we've extended the opportunity there. We do have a coffee vending machine now, and we have a coffee van at the weekends, but we just now put some of our baking into the vending machine so that people can come have a coffee. And then the sort of icing on the cake was our ice cream vending machine. So we started with the tubs of ice cream, so the takeaway tubs are the one portion tubs that people can have here and now. And then last year we added a soft serve machine to the array of vending machines. So there's something for everybody. Customer feedback's king, absolutely massive. You've got to remember you're doing it for your customers, so it's not what you want to do necessarily that's the winner, it's what your customers want. So a huge part of my first couple of years in business was actually being around and serving the customers myself, listening to them, building up that rapport. And now my customers tell me what direction we should be going in, and sometimes we have a right good old chat about what's the best way to go, which means they're also invested in your business and they're very passionate about our business. So that ties in with marketing in terms of the best advert for us as our customers also. So collaboration's huge. Coming from a background where I worked with lots of different teams, risk teams, marketing teams, you sort of realise that you can't be the jack of all trades, master of none. So I think we're not reinventing the wheel here. What we're trying to do is take stuff and do it unique, with a slightly unique slant for us. So working with other partners has been incredibly important to lean into their expertise, whether that's brand image, whether that's marketing, whether that's product development, whether that's technology development, just all of it is so important. From using our base product and trying to think again of increasing the income lines, it was a natural to enhance the product by using like butter, yoghurt, because then you can use your skim milk from your butter for yoghurt. So it's like using all of the product has been particularly important for us, and it's been about how can we add value to this great base product of the quality of the milk that we have. How do we exploit that? The first part, and it probably takes longer than I ever thought it would, but I think you do need to be patient if you want to get it right. And that is customer feedback and chatting to customers and understanding what the market might be for that product. I also have a slogan that we work by here, is enjoy the simple things in life. And that's really important to me because it needs to be simple and keep it simple, and that needs to work with our brand. So it's a combination of listening to our customers and remembering what we stand for, and then layering that up with the opportunity and how can we keep it simple but add value, and quality I think is really important as well. So making the butter, obviously you're using cream. For us, there's a higher proportion of cream in our milk, which is useful because you're not wasting as much, but we were then wasting potentially 90%, or not wasting, but the skim that was left was 90% of the milk base. So for me, that I don't like waste. I think how can we use that, and that's then where we started to look at the products that we could use. That's where we started to lean into the expertise of SAC Consulting, and then the wider partnerships there with the digital dairy chain, the food and drink team, because I'm not necessarily that expert. So in terms of skim and buttermilk product and development, we did have a further consultation going with one of the SAC consultants around diversification and business development, and from there Callum actually put us in touch with the food and drink team, who then we've worked with to try and understand what can we do with this byproduct. Actually, that for me has been, where do you lean on the people with the knowledge to help you to get a better blended solution. So in terms of using the byproducts, we're working with the digital dairy chain, with the butter side of things, and then with themselves around yoghurt development and how we can develop yoghurt. Predominantly using the skim milk for the yoghurt, so that's a nice blend with the butter. And then we're working with the food and drink team to develop some sauces. We have a coffee van, I think I mentioned, so we've built up a clientele at the weekends where we have a coffee van for coffees and ice creams. We also started doing soups just because there's a bit of a demand for colder days to have soup. So that sort of then customer feedback was, well, could you do something else? Everybody wants a bacon roll or thinks they want a bacon roll, but I don't want to become the typical catering van that does. So we started to think about how could we do some pasta sauces or sauces that would use up the byproduct but actually give us another product that we could use. So it's been hugely important for us to work with SAC Consulting. Here at Nether Lethame we've got so many opportunities and we have so many, I'm probably a bit guilty for having so many ideas of things I want to do, and I think as I've said, you don't want to become jack of all trades, master of none. So working with SAC Consulting has helped us to narrow our thinking and focus on potentially what would give us better return, what adds to the brand, and what would, if you like, the phasing of these products be. So that's been huge, that's been wonderful, and opening up other ideas that perhaps we never saw, and that's really where the sauces have become a part, and then working with the chef team to just develop that unique product for us, and we're continuing to tweak that, which is really valuable, just to get something that sits with our brand, our quality and our sort of signatures, if you like. So it's been very, very useful. We've also worked with Digital Dairy Chain. We've got quite a number of projects going on. Alec built a relationship with Rachel quite early doors actually. So we've had stuff going on in the cattle side, whether it be temperature checking of the shed, airflow. We've done quite a bit of work around butter development. We're moving into yoghurt development. And we have actually started a little bit of another project is where they are looking at drone delivery. So here in Straven, I think we've had one exercise where they've used a drone, and there'll be further work to be done on that, but it's around potentially collecting ice cream for Nether Lethame and delivering it via a drone, which is quite futuristic, but given that is happening elsewhere in the world, it's wonderful to be a part of something just so cutting edge. I think innovation in the dairy sector, I think we all have to keep our eyes and ears very wide open, listening, keeping in touch with what the development of technology is, and just using that blend of technology and human so that you can use your expertise in the places that are of best value and let technology do the more mundane, challenging stuff. We also find technology is really useful from creating a record, because obviously record management is becoming really important both in the food industry and in the animal side, where you're recording details of your animals, details of your products, your batches, and if you can use technology to take, if you like, that ache out of it and free up Alec to look after his animals and keep an eye on his animals and just know what's going on, and for me to spend that time with our customers and get the products to the customers in the highest quality. I think my biggest advice would be research before you start, and listen to other people, because genuinely nothing is brand new. People have been buying food for years, people have been interested in farm products, and don't shy away from inviting your customers to your farm either, because they're very respectful and it helps the whole education. So I think listen to people, talk to people, and probably for me is plan. So if you plan everything but take people with you on that plan, use SAC, use Digital Dairy Chain. These guys are phenomenal knowledge that can really help support you, and they're there for that service. So we are quite privileged here in Straven to have a local airfield. It's a recreational airfield, just a few hundred yards from the farm here at Nether Lethame. We've probably had over the years a bit of a relationship and rapport with the chap who owns the airfield. He's quite creative and he's quite excited on new technology. So it was somewhat a surprise when we kind of met in the middle of a junction, and he was telling us he was working on a drone project, and we were working with Digital Dairy Chain and other stuff, and the two have collaborated. So we now have one arm of a project that is looking at drones delivering ice cream from the farm here at Nether Lethame. So the drone taking off at the airfield, picking up the ice cream and potentially with the opportunity to deliver it straight to the customer. It's in its early days, but we did have a relationship with Colin at the airfield anyway. So again, it's just about your network. You've built your network, you've got a network, and who knows where that network might take you. I never for a minute thought it would be drones delivering ice cream. But you know, if that's the way we're going to go, that's quite an exciting opportunity.
Hi, I'm Colin McKinnon, and my family, we own Straven Airfield, which is a traditional grass airfield in South Lanarkshire. And now we have a flying club with about 70 members. We have about 32 aircraft based on the airfield, paying hangarage to store. And then we run a flying school as well. So we teach people to fly, and we also do presents, gift vouchers for people's birthdays and Christmas and that sort of thing. One of the things we started exploring recently are drones, and that was because we have a lot of space here, and people like SEPA, the University of West of Scotland, they came to us and said, can we possibly test our drones here? So our latest drone project is actually working with the University of the West of Scotland and the Digital Dairy Chain programme to try and deliver ice cream from Mary Ann's farm up to the airfield by drone. It will make us the first people to deliver food by drone commercially in the UK, and it's been a really interesting experience because we're actually testing the Civil Aviation Authority's paperwork. Everyone knows a drone can fly from A to B, everyone knows it can carry stuff, but we have to make sure it's done in the utmost safety, and that's the big issue that we're really facing. For the delivery of food and drink for drones, it's going to be interesting. There are various trials. There's one in Dublin, Mana, who are delivering food by drone. I think I was talking to the Scottish mortgage people who have invested in this Chinese company, Meituan, and I said, how are you going to deliver food in somewhere like the middle of Edinburgh with your Georgian buildings? And they said, no, you don't realise. In China, they don't build new towns, they're building 6 new cities every year with 60-storey tower blocks with drone landing platforms built on them. So it's an infrastructure thing, it's a holistic thing. The whole system has to change to really get efficient drone delivery, I think. What we have to do is we have to test what works in Scotland and what works for Scottish farmers, what works for Scottish consumers, and we have to link them together. And to me, keeping things local and integrated is the key to prosperity.
My name is Rachel Mir-Fatahi. I'm an innovation broker and project manager at the Digital Dairy Chain. The Digital Dairy Chain is a UKRI funded programme working with the dairy supply chain industry in the south and west of Scotland and in Cumbria through innovation, collaboration and growth. And we're working with all ranges of businesses from small and medium, from the farmers to milk processors to hauliers to ice cream makers, cheese makers, agricultural suppliers and any business that interact with the industry. In order for businesses to grow and be sustainable, we need to look at innovation and diversification. And at the Digital Dairy Chain, we've got a wide variety of people who have got a wide variety of expertise to help them. So the Digital Dairy Chain has a number of different mechanisms to drive innovation. They have innovation vouchers, which enable small and medium-sized businesses to work with one of the researchers at Scotland's Rural College, University of West of Scotland or the University of Strathclyde on an innovation project or a feasibility study. We also had collaborative innovation R&D grants, which enabled businesses to work together in collaboration on larger scale projects over a longer term. We also have a technology accelerator program, which is called the Milk Round Technology Accelerator Program, which enables businesses or individuals with a digital technology idea to work with the engineering support to build a minimum viable product. We have makerspace facilities which enables businesses and individuals to work on creating new dairy products, be they a variety of cheeses, ice cream, yogurt or butter. We've also generated a number of workshops which enables people to exchange ideas and to learn about new topics. And also from projects that we have done, we've created webinars and on-farm events too. Innovation vouchers, funding and mentorship are really useful for businesses to explore ideas and to try out new concepts before embarking on them to create viable businesses. I think farms will be able to use innovation to really add value to their businesses in all aspects of their farm, right from innovation in the field to the cowshed to the new products that they can make. I think product development and diversification will be hugely important for the long-term sustainability of the dairy industry. With the rising costs of running a dairy farm right now, with the fuel, fertiliser, energy costs and labour, it's more important than ever for businesses to be efficient, but also to be innovative. And that innovation and diversification can take the form of holiday lets, farm tours, farm experiences, renewable energy, pasteurising your own milk, or creating new dairy products.